Welcome back, GRD132, to part 3 of our logo recreation with Smuttynose, where we're recreating logos, trying to match fonts as best we can. And again, the more you do this, the more you'll get familiar with fonts and their little distinguishing characteristics and understanding them a little better. Just looking at them is one thing, but when you work with them, you get more of a relationship with them and you start to get the feel of them a little bit better. The last one we're going to do here is we're going to try to match Smuttynose, and we're not going to do a really good job of it. For one thing, this Y is not part of the font, so even if we match the other part, we'd have to add the Y to it, but I'm pretty sure this is a commercial font. I don't think there's anything in the Google Web Fonts that's going to match that, and this may be a font that you can actually download for free, but we'll try to match this as best we can, and we've already been through here, so it shouldn't be that hard to find something it's similar, because we're not going to have that many. It won't be like the slab. So we're going to go back here, and we're just going to type Smuttynose, and again, this is not the fonts.com place where we went and found something pretty close. Found a number of ones that were pretty close, but let's see how this works, because I wasn't really thinking about it, but I don't think I remember seeing anything that looked like the Smuttynose when we were looking at the Shelby one. So let me turn this off and put on handwriting, and we should be able to know right away. We've looked at this already, and I'm going to make it a little smaller so it's all in one line. Now that's not bad, and it says variable, dancing script. Now variable usually means there's more weights. That's not too bad. I didn't think there was even a bold there. So dancing script might be one of our best bets right off the bat. So I'm going to write down dancing script and keep going. But that's not bad. Why? Well, because the S, the T's, what do the T's look like? They're kind of double crossed. They have one, it looks like there's one crossbar that goes through the both of them. The M is kind of okay. The S, it isn't great, but, we're going to try to get it as best we can. That, I don't know, it has loops on the T's. I wouldn't go with Pacifico, even though it's a little thicker. That's not too bad. Actually, that's not bad at all. There's only one style. That's not too bad. So I'm going to write down satisfy. Now, we'd have to adjust the S a little bit, and it looks a little not as clean. Like the T's don't look the same, but that's not bad. I wouldn't say this one, because that doesn't have a cursive. This isn't bad. Great Vibes only has one style. That doesn't look right based on the S. Sacramento. Actually, some of these aren't too bad. That's not the right S here. A cookie. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. It's not the right S. Could that work? Possibly. Mr. Defoe, possibly. It's a little too hard to read, I think. I mean, it's possible, but I'd say no. That's not bad. It has the T's, it has the S, it has some of the things we have. This looks kind of neat. Damien looks kind of neat. That may be one of the closest ones we could find. It has the S that we want, it has the T, and that S, so Damien possibly. So I'm going to write down Damien, because that might work. Even though, where's Damien? Even though it's, not perfect, but, and we'll keep going here. I don't think there's going to be that many that really compete. That's not bad, actually. Maybe with a different, some of these aren't bad, but maybe with a different S, we'd have to adjust the S there, but that may be the only thing. I'm going to say Vernon Adams. Now, this one isn't bad. It's a little too brushy looking compared to this. I don't think that's quite right. That doesn't have the right S. That looks a little too straight, too kind of cursive, too handwriting-ish. That's not bad if it was on an angle a little bit. Let me just look at that. I mean, we could put things on an angle. So, it's possible. What does the Y look like? Well, the Y we'd have to change anyway. Grand Hotel. I wouldn't think Grand Hotel would be that, or at least even close to that, but it's not bad. I'm going to throw Grand Hotel on here. It's possible. We'd have to change the S, because the S isn't even close. We might have to mix another one. Let's keep going here, see if we find anything that works. I think we're okay with what we have so far if we had to go with one of those. That's not right. Too thin. There's only one style, so there's not going to be any bold. That's not bad. There's only one style. That's not bad. Although it's not on an angle, but if we put it on an angle, that might work. So I'm going to go with engagement here. Got a bunch of ones here that might work. I didn't think we'd find this many that matched. Hopefully I won't find many more, because I don't want to have to go through all these. I think I might stop there without finding. Okay, we could stop there. So I have a bunch. I have Dancing Script, Satisfy, Damien, Vernon Adams, Grand Hotel, and Engagement. And let's see what we get here. I'm just going to take my T tool and type Smuttynose. And since I'm going over white, I can make it darker. So I'll make it like red. And I'm going to start right off with Engagement. See how Engagement looks. Now, obviously the S doesn't work. The big S. But the rest of the stuff kind of works. Now, if I move this off, it goes off the page. So make sure you click on the page and turn clip content off. So if you need it to work off the page a little bit. But how could you put this on an angle? You might be saying, well, you said you could make it on an angle. Well, you could. You can go to transform, and if you go on the line here, you can kind of drag it and kind of do that. Now, that's not perfect. It's making it a little harder to read, but that's something you can do, and maybe that's too much. Maybe I'd go up here and just do a little bit. You have to hold shift. Sometimes the skew thing is hard to use. I just use a little bit, and then you still put it on an angle and spread it out and do that, and maybe mess with the S a little bit. But that's not too bad. So I'm gonna undo that and then copy it, and then try another one. So I know I can put that on an angle if I want to. So let's just try some others. Let's try Grand Hotel. See if that's worth looking at. Highlighted the wrong one, but that's okay. That's not too bad. If I put it over here, if we made it bigger, and this is one also we'd have to put on an angle a little bit. The S isn't really quite right, but I'm going to leave that. I'll just leave them. Then we could, maybe we can combine something. And this one, the next one I'm going to try is Satisfy. And it's not bad. It actually has the correct S. That if we use the S with another one, it might actually work. So I'm going to keep it here just to combine it, just to compare it. And Vernon Adams, or I'm not seeing Vernon Adams. So unless I had it spelled wrong, unless I had the name wrong. Oh, I was looking at the designer. Oh man, now I don't even know which one it was. You should have pointed that out when I was doing it. But all these are Vernon Adams. I don't know which one that is now. Well, actually, I have all the ones by Vernon Adams. Oh, I'm the designer. So let's see. Maybe it was this one. Noriken. Maybe that's the one, because we have Damien there. So maybe that's it. Maybe it was Noriken. So solve that. It was Noriken, not Vernon Adams. That's the Noriken. And there it is. Oh, there we go. That doesn't look too bad. That might work. It's a little curlier than some of the other ones, but that could work. Actually, if you take that little thing off the S, that's actually a good thing I found it. Good thing I didn't just give up there. That one's not too bad. It's not quite as brushy as some of the other ones, but in comparison, I think the first one and this one are kind of working with maybe this S in it. You put this S here, and let's try one more. I don't think we did Damien yet, so I'll go up here to the top. I'll copy one of these. Hold down my Alt key or my Option key and try Damien. I don't know. I don't know if that is brushy enough, although the S seems to work a little bit. I mean, they're all very close. There's a little curl in the O. There's no curl there. This has a little too much of a curl, but we could always change this and throw a different S in there. We could use this S. We could use this S and this Smuttynose and chop that off a little bit. And, maybe. All right, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try and wrap this up here. So I'm going to double click in here, and I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to put this S over here. And I'm not going to put it on an angle, but that's not too bad. So I'll make sure it's in auto scale font, and I'll zoom into that and make it a little bit larger. And actually, I don't have to do anything with it. That looks pretty good. So I was talking about possibly doing this one, although maybe this Smuttynose would look better. Doesn't look thick enough. Let me see if we have any other styles of this. Regular? No, I don't think it's that one. And this just seems like it's a little too curly looking. Well, let's see what this looks like. Let's try if we put this Smuttynose in here. And I'll zoom up. And that's not too bad. Now, here's the thing. If we just rotate it, that may not be what we want. because it's just putting it on an angle. And that's not too bad, actually. I might go with that. But let me undo that. Before I rotate it, what I'm going to do is put it on an angle more, just a slight bit. And remember, I can go up and do transform. Click, and let me click on this again and hit transform, and just ever so slightly skew it so it's a little more italic looking. And then I'm going to rotate it. So I'm just putting on an angle a little bit more, and I could probably even just stretch it a little bit, and maybe I'll skew it just a little bit more. Okay, I think that's okay. And then remember, turn transform off then. That's on. I'll turn it off, and now I should be able to rotate it and get it into place here. And it needs to be rotated a little bit more. Now, that's not too bad. So what am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to get rid of these or just move them somewhere else. And I'm just going to go over to the side here because I'm not sure what else to do. I'm just going to make a label over here, and I'm just going to fill it with this gold color. So I'm going to take this and just kind of match this gold color that they're using there. And then what I'll do is I'll highlight all of this stuff and kind of just bring it over. See if I can just drag it and bring it over right now. And make sure everything's to the front. So I'll use bring front. And that way I can click on this and make it white. And click on this and make it white. See, we're getting towards the end here. there's an end in sight. And Brewing Co., if we can get on that. Well, let me go into here before I get to Brewing Co., because then we could lock this old brown dog. This is going to be, well, we'll just match this. Actually, it could even be this color, but we'll match the one over here. And I'll click on dog if I can, and change that to used color. So go to in use and choose that color. And now down here, let me select that. Let me select that. And I think we can just match this because I think they're just using the brown. And now I'll zoom in so we can get to some of the other stuff. This little rectangle here, that's going to be this color, or if you use the in use. And if we can get to this thing down here, we really have to zoom into that little thing on the R. There it is. And if we click on color and then go to in use, just use the brown, that fills in that part. And I'll zoom back out, so that looks pretty good. And then the last part, if I could just get on this, let me select this, that's text, and just move it down. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll just select this one, and how about I lock it? I could just lock it for now. And then I could click on this and make this white. I'll just use white. You could have used any white. I could have went back to colors and used white. So that looks pretty good, and that's pretty much what I wanted. It's not exact, but let's compare. You know, we just recreated this. That's not too bad. You know, considering what we did here. You know, we could mess with some other ones, and you could try other ones. You know, maybe this one, you put this on a little angle, you skew it. Now, I didn't do anything with the Y yet, and I'm not going to do it right now. I mean, this is like our 7th video, so, so I'm going to stop here with this. But we could certainly learn how to do that. We could certainly draw a shape and just kind of connect it in there and break off that. But I'm going to leave that for now and let you guys get started on this. And then if we have to work with that, we can get back to that. So we're learning about our fonts. We're learning about positioning and tracking and finding things that really work here with that. So that doesn't look too bad. So if you got through all these videos, good job. So when you're done, and if you haven't done this for a while, make sure you save. Make sure you have everything saved. And I'd have to give you like 100 points for this thing. This thing took long. And then remember, then when you're done, you're going to share this and make sure this spinning thing stops. And make sure you change this to developer first. And then you copy the link. And that's the link you're going to insert as a link in your comment for ex5. So you're going to go down to unit 11. And instead of this link, you're going to go here. And you're going to add comment. And you're going to insert link. And you're going to paste it. And you're going to change this to new window. And then you're going to hit save, and you're going to hit save, and then I'll go be able to check out all that fun stuff. So you learn something about Google Fonts and looking through all those fonts. Lots of good stuff here. You can close this up when you're done. Make sure you had saved everything before you did that. If you have things off to the side here, I don't care. I just want to see that you took the time to go in and really try to recreate this as best as you can. Hope you had fun with that.